Morning, well, it's Hippy Trev here. So we're on to the next model build. That will be the Suzuki police bike. Now, I know a lot of you are waiting for me to start the Honda 754, but I'm holding back on this one for a little while yet. But anyway, so yep, I'm going to start the Suzuki GSX750 police bike. Now, I did a little bit yesterday, just mucking around. All the instructions are only on a printout and they're all in Japanese, but the katana I built not that long ago is around the same year, 82, and the instruction sheet is almost very similar to this one. So if I'm having a little bit of trouble trying to understand what they're trying to tell me, I can always go and grab the instruction sheet from the other model, and it's pretty much similar to the RG250 I built too. So I just sitting there yesterday, just mucking around for a little bit. I put a little bit of paint on, painted the seat, painted the where the red lights go, and I've still got to paint the chain and sprockets. Also just put a bit of colour on the glass. One indicator's missing, that's sitting in the box, and before I lose that, I'm actually going to glue my indicators to the indicator stalks. Here's our decal sheet, and I'm also really concerned as what happened with the katana of the same age. This sheet does feel a little bit better. I can just get that out of here without wrecking anything. This decal sheet does feel a bit better. I don't really know the age, but my concern is yet again that as I try and do the water slide, that these decals are that they're literally just going to disintegrate, which is exactly what happened with the katana. Every time I try to take a decal off the sheet, it just disintegrated. So the only decal I managed to save was the Speedo dash decal, and I cut that around with paper I cut that around with my scissors very gently and just glued it onto the dash. So there is a couple of stickers there. I can probably use just that sticker up the top there, which won't go on the bike, and maybe even the number plate. But I'm going to cut that sticker out first when I go to do my decals and see if that comes off the sheet the way it's supposed to. If it disintegrates, that means none of these stickers will be usable as decals and slides, and I will literally have to cut around them. And some of the ones that go on the petrol tank I may or not have to use, and the ones I really want to save most are the Speedo and tacos. So that's what's happening there. So just looking at this, there's my little indicator stalks in here. So what I might do before I go too much further is I'm going to get the indicator glass put onto that so I don't lose the one floating around here in the box here. Then we've just got some engine parts, some wheels and all that. It's not a lot of pieces to this model. It shouldn't be a very hard build. So basically, let's get into it. Oh, and I've got wheels, tyres, screws and hosing, which I'm going to have a go at putting on properly. Watch the model build that I think JB sent me. I can't remember who sent me a model build of them doing a late model Suzuki. Now, what they did was amazing, but I did see that a lot of it was clicked together, but they cut and changed everything and made it look really good. I also saw on his tank seams that he rubbed it down and used a bit of eyeliner makeup to fill in the void. So on one of the other models, maybe on the Honda 4, I've got to glue the tanks together. If I can try and get some eyeshadow in that colour, I may be able to do the same thing. I don't really do any sanding on my models. I don't really have decent quality sandpaper here. You can't really buy that sort of stuff here in town. And then all you do is just end up with major scratch marks that you've got to try and cover up with paint. And we all know my painting's not the best anyway. So rightio worlds, I'm going to start getting into this model. I'm going to start doing the engine assembly, and then I might have a little bit of a go with the decals on one bit and see if I can get it. I might have a little bit of go with the decals on one bit, see if I get away with it. But at the moment, I'm just going to start with the engine build and see where we go. Rightio worlds, I'll get back to you later when I've got some of the assembly done and see where we go from there, and maybe even try and even film just trying to get some decal off and see what that looks like. Even maybe on one of the side covers or something that or somewhere that isn't important. So if I do mess it up, it won't matter so much. But yeah, I've got a horrible feeling that this decal sheet, it doesn't look as weathered and brittle as the old one, but I've got a horrible feeling this decal sheet is going to just destruct on me. So, righto, Walt, I'll get back to you later. Bye. Righto, Walt, so we're a little bit further down the track, about an hour or so later. So I've got the engine mostly together, like that. I've tried to do a little bit of black shading around the cylinders and stuff. Sort of worked okay, a little bit of chrome on. My spark plugs are in there. I've had no wires yet. I've worked out, even though it tells me to put all my wires on there now, I'm not putting them on till it's in the frame, the way they get looped over. I've tried to paint the starter motor. Normally in these you get a chrome starter motor cover, so I've painted the starter motor black, and I've tried to do a little gold solenoid in there. I've been doing all my painting under my magnifying glass here, so I've really been taking my time and going over it and over it and over it. But yep, and there's two little pins down there which doesn't show me anything on the destruction page, but if I look at somewhere else, it does have cables run down, and it looks like they put them onto there to mimic going onto the carbies. So there's two little pins in there which I've got to get some tubing on before I put the carbies on. The carbies are sort of done, tops, so they're ready to go on. And the same thing, there's another pin that goes on there which is also like a throttle cable. Yeah, and not sure why there's two pins down in there, but I'm going to run cables off both of them until I work out exactly where they go. Maybe a push-pull cable. I've decided to paint the airbox all the wrong colours. So we've got a red on the top, I've put some silver around the sides, and I repainted all the black underneath, and I've had to go over this 2 or 3 times and touch up all the like overpaint that I've put everywhere. So it's taken me a little while just to get that little job done. Also, as usual, we have the chrome sprockets with gold chain. It seems to be my trademark now, gold chains and chrome sprockets. Also, I don't know if you can see it, I've done the hand grip, silver hand grip, silver clutch lever on this one, and throttle cable. And on the other one, wherever it is, I can't find it right now. Oh yes, there's the throttle cable side and brake side, and I've done green for the brake fluid reservoir, and I've done the red dot on the top there for your stop and go switch, and that was really delicate, just trying to even get a red dot on there. So doesn't look like I've done a lot, but I've got a little bit done. And I've also, as I mentioned before, the indicator lens that went missing, I've mounted that on the one of the chrome indicators. So right now, well, so far so good. Up to the stage where now I've got to put my chrome side covers on each side. Even that, I've painted where the filter cover goes, painted a different colour. Put my 2 lines on, put my carbies on, and then after that I'm pretty sure the next stage, I haven't got my destruction sheet, but the next stage after that is pretty much insert the engine and everything into the frame. So right, so yeah, it's just been an hour or so just mucking around and just doing really fine paint work and just really taking my time. I think it was JB, mate, I'm really terrible if I got your name wrong, sent me the video of the guy who did that, what do you do with a R250 or a late model thing, and then just the way, you know, sanded and painted thing. I'm just trying to do that little bit extra care with this model. And even just trying different techniques of getting the glue on without just smearing it everywhere. So, right here, well, let's get back to you later when I've got a little bit more done. Later, bye. Alright, well, so we're a little bit further down the tracks, a couple of hours later. Motor's in the frame, guards on, airbox is in, got me cables. I just hope that clutch cable's long enough. Got my throttle cable, which needs to be cut to length. I've just got a horrible feeling I've left that clutch cable a little bit too short. Sorry. So I've got a horrible feeling I've left this clutch cable a bit short, but so the motor's in the frame. Not looking too bad. Lucky band just holding the back of it on there. I've got a rubber lucky band holding the back of it on there, which I think I can probably just take off now, because it's throwing it a little bit out of kilter. There we go, straighten that up now. So underneath the bike, all starting to look pretty good. So definitely a few hours work there just getting to that stage, and trying not to get black paint all over my white frame has been rather difficult. I've painted a little brake cylinder there, a little bit messy, but I've done that. Now, when I first got the Eric paints, I found these quite watery, and someone suggested that maybe I should shove a small ball bearing in there, which I didn't have any more. I didn't have any small ball bearings, but what I did have is I had some brand new small chrome nuts. So in each one of my containers, I've thrown in a couple of small chrome nuts and used that to shake up the mix, and it's done a bloody good job actually. I don't know if you can hear that. So what the nut does, it rolls around inside the paint here. So what the nut does, it rolls around inside the container and helps stir it all up like a ball bearing does in a rattle can. So now I still leave them upside down because a lot of it's still stuck to the bottom. I've been using a lot of the silver today. That's worked really good. I've been using a bit of the black. You only get one chance of this stuff when you do a brush stroke and you come back to redo your brush stroke. You get one chance, and then it dries so quick that on the second stroke you end up taking the paint off. So you've got to be really careful doing that. So, and my green, I've used a little bit of the green. As I said, I use green to highlight brake fluid. So I don't think I'll get much more done today. The last stage, the last part of stage 2 is basically assembling the chain sprocket, chain guard, tyre and so forth, and it says you should highlight the rim. So basically I've still got me, shoot. Oh, I've got enough room. I forgot to put on my chrome cover there, but I can get that on. I've still got my disc to paint. I've still got my disc to paint. I've got my calipers to paint. I may highlight the rims here with a bit of gold trim, I'm not sure. Now I did see on a video that I think it's I'm pretty sure JB sent me, that the disc here, they got a small drill bit, and wherever you see all those little holes, they actually hand drill like every one of those holes out. I don't know if my drill bit's that small. I don't even think I've got a drill bit that small to do those holes. I'm going to look into that. There's a hand chuck down at the hardware, and so I can get a hand chuck and slowly go through and maybe even drill out every one of these holes on the discs. Maybe for something different and a little bit extra. So something to look into. So anyway, still got my rims to highlight, caliper and frame to paint, discs to paint, and work out whether I actually drill some holes in them. I did take a couple of decals off and they seem to work okay, so when it comes to putting the speedo on and some of the other decals, I'm really hoping they come off okay, but they did seem to come off the decal sheet not too bad. So, but anyway, well, we're going to call that the end of part 1. I'm not really going to go any further today. Like I said, I've got the wheel to assemble. I've got the rear wheel to assemble, and I've got the chain sprocket and chain guard I can assemble and maybe install, but at this stage it's getting late in the day and I think it's almost getting to Jack's o'clock, and yeah, we'll see where we go there. So alrighty, well, I was going to call this the end of part 1. Catch you on the next one. Later, bye.